I am what you would call a generalist. I have no real specialty out here in the workshop. And the problem with being a generalist is you tend to collect tools. I have woodworking tools, I have metalworking tools, I have sign making tools, I have tools with lasers in them, I have tools, I don't even know what they do. What's up, nerds? I am lucky in that I have a fair-sized workshop. I do not have such a large workshop, however, that I can keep every tool out and at the ready. Take my slip roll, for example. I need it when I need it, but the rest of the time, it can go back in its hole. And it may be weeks or months before I whip it out again. Also, its overweight cousin, the tubing roller. I bought this several months ago to make a giant tornado, and I have used it for all of 5 minutes since then. It's not that big, but it needs a lot of open room on either end, so I can't just leave this set up somewhere. What I need is a better way to stow away things like this. So what I've been doing so that this would, properly sit up on a shelf with other stuff and so it doesn't, end up getting covered in sawdust is I keep putting it back in the cardboard box, which is not ideal. The styrofoam fell apart right away, so it just kind of rattles around in there. I have to tape it up and cut it and retape it every time I put it away. So what I would like to do is make a custom case for this, but of course I have to complicate everything. I want to make a couple of modifications to this first to hopefully make it a little easier to use. First, it was designed to just go in a vise. All it's got is this bar on the bottom. So what I have to do is I have to bolt my vise down here first and then stick this in there, and it's not very secure. So what I would prefer to do is just bolt this directly to my welding table. So I've made this bracket, and I think I want to try to make this toolless also. Robot, what are you doing? Are you having a stroke? This is AI, right? This is what AI gets you. Now, I should just be able to and we're ready to roll because it's a slip. Yeah, that is going to make this a lot easier and quicker to set up. Now, I believe I mentioned I wanted to make a couple of modifications to this. The other one being this handle. The last time I used this, I was making a tight cylinder out of some slightly thicker material, and it was hard to get enough leverage out of this short handle. So I'd like to extend this, but I can't get this off of here. There's no fastener I can just remove. It looks like it's a friction fit with a machine key pounded in there. I have to get behind it to try to get it off of here. I think I'm gonna have to take half of this apart to get the whole rod out, and it's gonna be a whole thing. And I've got a deadline and another tool to make a case for. And well, I'm kind of trying to work on that overachiever part of myself. Hey, personal growth. So I'm gonna skip that for now and move on to making the case for this. So what I'm thinking is I can secure this inside the case by bolting it to the base. And then I can just build the case up around it. And of course, I'm going to want to know what's in there. Chin clamp. All right, so after letting this dry and preparing to trim the door to size, I realized I did not give this anything to stop against. This should have gone in front of the sides here. I already hit the button. So what I have done, I've just cut myself a little piece of 1/4 inch material here. I'm gonna spread a little bit of Total Boat Total Bond and then just clamp it in here for a few seconds. Ordered these road case latches off of Amazon. Figured I'd give them a try. And I also got myself a collapsible handle. All right, so I've still got a little finish work left on this, but basically, pop it open, remove these, lift it out, and I've bolted on a magnet down here to hold my bolts. And for now, I'll just be screwing the old handle on here. And I think I've got an idea how I'm going to do the handle extension here. And pretty sure that is just going to clip up inside the top here. Now, got to do the heavy one. And for this one, I basically got 3 requirements. One, it's got to be storable, which basically means it's going to be in a case like the other one. 2, it's got to be transportable, which means I need to be able to carry this from somewhere else in the shop over to this bench and lift it up here. And I don't think one handle right in the middle is gonna do it, because this thing is pretty hefty. 3, I want it to be self-contained. And that means everything I need to set up and operate this, I want in the case. For example, I need a socket to turn this. This is what makes the central die go up and down. So I've got a spare socket, and I ordered a wrench off of Amazon. So this is going to stay with this. There's also a couple of other tools for attaching the die and attaching the big wheel that you turn it with. That's one thing that's not gonna go in here. It's just too big. Everything else I want in here with this, so I don't have to go and chase down various tools. So I think I'm just gonna start the way I started with the other one. Oof. So the roller gets bolted down to the base, and then the base gets bolted to the table with another set of knobs from underneath. Which means that the roller is going to stay with the base. Because this is so heavy, I don't want to have to lift the roller out of the case. Instead, I'm going to lift the case off of the roller. So, like before, I'm going to start by building the case up from here. But first, let me tell you about my feet. Everybody knows that in the workshop, foot safety is important. Quality footwear with a reinforced toe to prevent injuries. Everybody knows this, but just as important, at least as far as I'm concerned, is comfort. I have been wearing these socks from Bombas for the first time, and I can honestly tell you, they have made a difference. My feet feel so good. Today I'm wearing their merino wool blend socks. Well, sock. Over here I'm wearing their men's solid calf sock. It's a compare and contrast. I'm doing science. And the conclusion is comfy. And with Bombas, one purchased equals one donated. For every item you buy from Bombas, socks, t-shirts, underwear, they will donate in kind. Bombas has donated over 150 million essential items to those in need. They have multiple options to choose from: wool blends, cotton blends, cashmere blends, long, short, ribbed, fuzzy. And new customers get 20% off their first purchase. Just go to bombas.com/Wesley and use code Wesley20 at checkout. Oh, and they have a 100% happiness guarantee, free returns and exchanges. Even if your dog eats the socks, or you drop a saw on your foot and cut it in half. I assume they at least replace the sock. What do you hear, Starbuck? And back in you go. Ah, crap. I measured this. I'm not lining up with my bolt holes anymore. All right, that's okay. I can fix that later. But does this fit over this? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I forgot. This can't be here. This is the axle that the wheel attaches to. This, along with all of the tools I'm gonna need to store here. That's where I'm gonna put them, right in front here. So I need to make some sort of like rack that goes here. So that includes what? This, the wrench. I need an Allen key to attach the wheel and to remove this die. So I went to Harbor Freight and I bought an entire set of these for $6.99, which was the cost of buying just a singular one of these off Amazon. So I'm just gonna take out what I need and I don't know, give them to the toolless. So that's these and these to bolt this down to the bench. Now I'm going to take about 45 minutes or so to allow myself to remember what I'm forgetting. Okay, I think I've got all my accessories figured out and I'm working on the rack now. I'm running these holes one at a time to make sure everything fits properly, opening them up as necessary. I've got one more left to test, and that is a slot for the knobs. Great. All right, okay. I couldn't wait. I put the rest of this together last night. Look at this. I used the same latches I did on the other one. I was a little worried about them being able to take the weight, but they seem to be working just fine. That is so organized. And I mentioned that I had trouble with the bolt holes lining up on this again. It turns out I did not take into account the extra 1/4 inch material that I added here, and I was running into the bolt heads that hold this thing together. So I just had to drill some pockets for the bolt heads to slide into, and it's fitting just fine now. Basically, everything I need is in the case. I just set it in place, bolt it down, reinsert the axle, which I've made easier by cutting a couple of pieces to act as a cradle to hold the big heavy die. So I no longer have to hold that with one hand and try to align it while inserting the axle with the other. Then I've got my Allen key for tightening the set screws on the die. Got my wrench for adjusting the die. And stick on the wheel. We got the Allen key for that. It's not as convenient as having it set up and ready to go all the time, but when I don't use it that often, it's nice to be able to pack it up and get it out of the way. Really, the only loose end for this thing is the wheel. I don't know, maybe I can make some sort of cradle on the front of this that I can just set it in while it's being stored. I don't know. You guys have any ideas? And there are other dies that came with this for round tubing that I haven't used yet. I'll probably just make just a box for those. But having all of this properly self-contained and easily accessed, this is going to be really nice. You know what? This should have been an episode of the Suckless Workshop. Hey, why not? This is now the 3rd installment of the Suckless Workshop series. It's not like I'm going to run out of stuff to fix up in here. You guys have an idea for an episode?